Aloha and welcome to the Embodied Healing Self podcast with your host, Jenmons. Each week, join me for soul-inspired, conscious conversations around embodied healing and awakening to your soul's purpose. Thank you for listening in. Hello, my friends and family. Welcome back. This week's episode is a meditation to welcome trust. Last week we talked about what it means to be sovereign as a way of embodied trust. And so this is the invitation to explore what that might look like, what it might feel like. Because I know some of you have a hard time trusting. Take a moment to reflect in your life the areas that are difficult for you to trust. Is it in love? Is it with money that it's going to be there? Do you have a lack of trust with relationships, friendships, any type of relationship? Do you have fears around your children being safe? Do you have a lack of trust in some type of authority? What about with God? Maybe you're lacking trust with your health, your physical body, because maybe it let you down. So wherever you are, maybe you've had some type of experience in your life that has shown you that something can't be trusted. And I'm going to invite you to trust that that was part of the process. That belief, that breakdown, is exactly the relationship that is inviting you to trust. It just looks differently. It just looks differently than you thought. So find yourself comfortably seated with your feet flat on the floor. If you're listening to this while you're driving, I invite you to come back and listen again later so that you can fully experience this meditation. Let's connect with our breath. Whenever you're ready, gently close your eyes. And many of you know that I like to keep it simple with a 4-count box breath. Inhaling for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. And exhale. 3, 2, 1. And hold. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. And exhale to release. And so let's begin by just connecting with our body, noticing sensations in the body, and so scanning from the feet up with each breath, noticing your legs, your thighs, your hips. Bringing special awareness to the gut, because this is the place that shows up when we lack trust. It can show up as digestive issues, anxiety. So notice if the energy in your sacral and solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your root, do they feel strong and grounded or kind of swirly? and continue working your way up into your heart. How does your heart trust? Is it guarded or is it open? When people approach you, when you have conversations with people, do you trust them or do you think they have an ulterior motive? Do you often feel taken advantage of, or do you find yourself trying to seek validation? And then noticing your throat. Do you trust yourself to speak your truth? To stand up for yourself? To speak the truth, capital T? To be true to yourself. There's a difference between speaking truth and speaking your truth. You can be a very, very honest person and never lie, but not be true to yourself. And then bringing awareness to your head, the top of your head, your crown, your connection to source, your connection to God. Do you trust in that there is no disconnection? That the idea that you're separate is creating the separation? Just noticing. Taking a nice deep breath in all the way in through the soles of your feet. And exhale back down. What does trust mean to you? Ask yourself, how have I shown up in my relationship to trust in my life? Do I believe that most people are trustworthy, or do I believe that they are not? And where did this first come from? Was there a time that trust was broken in my life? Maybe it was mom or dad said they were going to be home at a certain time and they weren't. Maybe they weren't there when we were sick and we needed them. Maybe there was a divorce. Maybe something even deeper. Maybe somebody broke a boundary when you were a child. So just noticing the experiences of your life and where your ideas and beliefs around trust came from. Or lack of trust. So often many of us are hurt and wounded when we're so young by somebody that we look up to, maybe even somebody that we love, and they betray us, or they abandon us, or they reject us, or they intentionally hurt us through their words or their actions, and it breaks trust. And we lose hope, and we adapt. We adapt by believing that it's our fault, that we weren't worthy of that true love, of that trust, or that it's not safe actually in the world. And maybe we believe that we're not lovable because what we thought we were to a person wasn't true, and we feel betrayed. And we're so little when this happens that we don't know the difference, and we learn to adapt. That's what we do as humans, and we create survivor strategies. And so my invitation right now in this moment is, if you can sit with that little girl, that little boy, that version of you that is so deeply being invited to trust right now, if you can see the fears, if you can see the betrayal, the rejection, and get clear on what it is that he or she needed at that time, that's probably what you need right now. Did you need connection, or did you need love? Did you need nurturing? And I want to invite you to recall a time in your life when you did trust. because we are expansive, multidimensional beings, and we have moments where our trust was broken. And then because we're resilient, we have those moments where we trust again and it all works out. Recall that time in your life when you trusted and it worked out. What did it say about you? What was the story behind it? Did you achieve something? Did you step into a marriage that has been wonderful? Did you heal something? What was the time in your life that you chose to trust blindly and it worked out for you? And how long did that take? Sometimes it happens right away. We see results, and sometimes it takes years. I've always loved, I had a card in my wallet in high school that said, if you have faith as small as a grain of mustard seed, then what you seek will come to you. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I just remember that part of all you need is the faith as small as a mustard seed, and that is pretty small. Just a little bit of faith. One of the other poems that I loved growing up was the Footprints in the Sand one. You're probably more familiar with that one. I used to have a notebook that said it, and all of the pages on there said this poem. And if you haven't heard it, I invite you to read it. But it's basically the idea of relationship to God. There's a man who's struggling, and he says that, where were you when times were challenging? As he looks back on his life, and the Lord says to him, it is in those moments that I carried you. When there was only one footprint in the sand, it's because I was carrying you. It's in those times that are most challenging that we're actually being invited to trust the most. God will put people in your place, literally put them in your place at the right time, and they will reach out to you and they will appear. And you've got to trust in yourself. You have to trust that that's what's happening. And when the door is open, take that next step. And there's just so many beautiful blessings when you allow yourself to receive. And, we all shut doors on opportunities and people and everything in its own divine timing. And you get to choose. You get to choose when you're ready. And hopefully when you're ready, it's as easy as it was, when it was first there. You just never know. You just have to trust. So feel into your body in the moment where you blindly trusted and it worked out to you. How did that feel? What did that feel like? And when you felt that trust and it worked out for you, did you feel strong? Did you feel empowered, unstoppable? Did you feel peaceful? Can you connect with that sensation in your body right now? When you overcame a challenge, when you just trusted in something bigger than yourself and it all worked out. Connect to that feeling right now. And know that because that feeling is in you, it is you. You are trust. You can't create something that's not available to you, that's not part of your energetic signature. And in this moment moving forward, ask yourself, how can I choose to be more aligned to this belief and in this feeling, because so often we easily connect to the things that didn't work. And right now I'm inviting you to connect to when it did work. And what opportunities are available to me right now that I might be willing to trust and take that leap of faith. Because the truth is, you're either going to be uncomfortable because of where you're staying stuck, or you're going to be uncomfortable because you choose that leap of faith. And if you choose that leap of faith, at least you're growing and expanding in ways that you were created to. If you're staying stuck, you're just dying slowly. You're not living fully. And it doesn't feel good. It hurts in the body. It ruins relationships. We live in scarcity and fear. I've seen it so many times. It actually manifests physically in the body as well. So right now, what is an opportunity, a door that is open for you? It could be a book that somebody told you to read. It could be a new job opportunity. It could be a new friend. It could be a new passion. It could be a new way of showing up in joy. It could be a new mentor or coach. It could be a new relationship. But look around in your life right now. What is that door that is opening and inviting you in? And what is that next step that you are willing to take? Because if you're really being asked to move into trust, you're going to be asked to initiate that step. What is the next small step you're willing to take in order to meet that trust and show up and say, I trust, I'm willing to take that leap of faith. I'm willing to receive this support. I'm willing to own my worth. I'm willing to try this new thing. I'm willing to travel to this place. I'm willing to go on that date. I'm willing to invest in this thing. I'm willing to move to that place. I mean, lives are changing everywhere in the most amazing and transformational ways. And if you're watching it happen around you and you don't feel like you're in it, well, the only difference is you're not choosing it. So what door is open to you right now that you're willing to embody more of that trust? Remember that time that it worked out and say yes to you in any way. And who's going to be there to support you? Is it your husband, your wife, your friend, your pet, your journal, God? It's important to know that this is real, and so we do that by being seen and heard in our experience. So who's going to be there to support you on this little next step, just one tiny next step? And when you say yes to this thing, whatever that is, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel on the other side of that? Freedom, lighthearted, joyful, empowered, relaxed, peaceful, unstoppable. We have different sensations that come up. And I invite you to just ask God to hold that vision for you until you're ready to receive it. Ask Him to put the people in place in front of you that are going to help you step into that trust. And I lovingly invite you to surround yourself with people who are in trust. Really be mindful of not being available for the energy that's going to bring you down back into your old habitual self, because that does happen. You will have people who misery loves company. They want you to be in the scarcity with them. They'll, try to project blame or even tell you what you think. These are extreme cases, but just be aware that if you're really being asked to step into trust, well, you're going to be challenged with old patterns that showed up. But you get to choose differently. And when you do, please share with me your celebrations. Feel free to share. Send me a personal message. I love hearing personal revelations and learnings and the whole thing. And if you're enjoying the show, please let me know. Of course, I love getting little love notes too, just like everybody. Thank you for being with me here again today. I'm excited to see what manifests for you as you choose to embody this trust and take that leap of faith and expand your energy field, your potential, your life, to deepen your relationships, live more abundantly. And if you'd like to do this in a collective of sisterhood, of course, we'd love for you to join our North Star Collective. We do this together through the 12 pillars of soul illumination. And it's really fun to do it in sisterhood because we're all just like celebrating each other. And then, sometimes we cry together, sometimes we dance. But there's just, I can't put into words the experience that it is to have those deeply profound connections and experiences while being witnessed in a sacred space. So if that aligns for you at all, then maybe that's your next step, is to jump on a call and see if just that small step of trust and a conversation with us either leads you down that path or on a different path. But you never know until you try. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining, and sending you all much love and aloha. The content of this podcast is to educate, inspire, and inform you of pathways to an embodied healing self. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice from your medical doctor, therapist, registered dietitian, or nutritionist for any questions you may have regarding your diagnosis or condition. Hello, friends, and thank you so much for joining me today and being a part of this community. I know there are many other podcasts that you could be tuning into, and I am deeply honored that you chose to listen in and be present with me today. I love and cherish and appreciate you, and I want to invite you to join our tribe and Facebook group under jenmons.com/connect. I would also love to gift you your guide to discovering and overcoming the self-limiting beliefs standing in the way of you living in optimal health, more energy, fulfillment, and self-confidence to create an embodied, healthy, whole you. You can find this at jenmons.com/tribe. I also have one small request to help spread the love. In order for this podcast to show up in the feed of social media platforms of other like-minded people, we need reviews. So please head on over to jenmons.com/podcast to leave a review. You will also find other inspiring episodes on that page. So I personally read these reviews weekly and would love to give you a shout out and share your kind words with our listeners. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Jen Mons or the Holistic Coach with the W, Holistic, and Jen Mons, JenMons.com. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Aloha.